Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today we're taking a look at the NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics cards. I know I don't usually do hardware techie stuff on this channel, but I do like to make the odd exception when it's a really cool piece of hardware. And I think that the 3080 fits into that bracket because of the price and the performance. So I was sent this review sample a couple weeks ago. I've been using it in my system, playing all sorts of games. Now this isn't going to be a incredibly detailed review with graphs and stats and all that stuff. If you want that, go watch Linus Tech Tips or JZ2 Cents, Epos Vox. This will be a review from somebody who plays a lot of games and creates a lot of video content. The price of the 3080 at launch is $699. That's around 650 quid in the UK. Compare that to what the 2080 Ti cost, which I think was around $1,200. So it's quite a significant difference there. And to get to the chase, based on my testing, I was using a 2080 Ti before. I reckon it's around 25 to 30% faster in 1440p gaming. It's definitely a significant leap, and recently I picked up a 240Hz 1440p monitor, and honestly playing games on that on the 3080 is amazing. It's awesome. I've been trying some games that I don't usually play as well because there are some features that this graphics card has, like DLSS, which is AI super sampling in layman's terms. We've also got ray tracing features, reflections, that kind of stuff. So I've been messing around with that too, and we're going to take a quick look at those things now. Some of you guys actually noticed and made comments on this when I was live streaming or when I've been uploading COD Warzone videos. I've had the frame rate in the top left hand corner, questioning how I was getting those frame rates at 1440p. Well, that's how. I just had a 3080 in there. So this is Warzone maxed out at 1440p. Everything's on the highest setting, and I'm in downtown, and we're hitting around 135 to 140 FPS in the downtown area. Usually the bit where you get the lowest FPS. Really smooth, looks great. I don't often play Warzone on high settings, so it was quite nice to experience this. Of course, when you go into the less populated areas where there's not as much geometry going on, your frame rates can go up to like 160, 170. So it's quite a big leap over the 2080 Ti, what I had before. If you put everything on low, obviously it's going to look worse, but you'll get higher frame rates and your average will also be higher. Next up, BF5 with ray tracing turned on and all of the settings maxed out at 1440p. No DLSS here, so this is native 1440p performance. I remember trying to do this on a 2080 Ti. It was not good. Low frame rates, lots of stuttering, but I mean, this looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? This is Rotterdam with all the RTX stuff on, real-time ray trace reflections. Gorgeous looking game when you max it out, and we're averaging around 90 FPS. It's pretty insane, really. And here, Twisted Steel, it's another map. I love this swamp area with RTX turned on. You get all the reflections off the water. Again, frame rates significantly higher than they were on the 2080 Ti. And then I thought I'd show you this as well. This is your classic rasterization performance at 1440p. So this is everything on low settings, all the ray tracing effects turned off. If you want to be super competitive, get the best visibility, lowest input lag, best performance. A lot of people play on low settings. I play on low settings usually, especially on Warzone. And you see, it speaks for itself really, doesn't it? 180 to 200 FPS. It's mad, absolutely mad. In terms of DLSS, well, this is magic as far as I'm concerned. It's more performance, and sometimes it actually looks better than the native resolution. So this is in games like Stranding. Amazing looking games, just been released on PC. I don't think you actually need DLSS for Stranding because it runs at like 150, 160 FPS at 40p anyway. But you turn on DLSS and you do see a boost in performance there. When it's in motion, I don't think you can really tell any difference, especially on the quality preset, but there's definitely a frame rate boost there. They just put this in Fortnite as well, along with a load of other ray tracing and lighting features like global illumination. So I thought, you know what, I'll test that out as well. So Fortnite 1440p with everything turned on. It's all on ultra, all the new ray tracing features maxed out. In this particular area, I was getting around 40 to 50 FPS, but then you go ahead and turn DLSS on and you're getting 70 FPS. So you're getting about 30 more frames per second. So that goes from being, for me, unplayable at 40 to playable at 60 to 70. And like I said, I can't really see a difference in the image quality here. And I was taking screenshots and zooming in on Photoshop, and sometimes the DLSS image looked better than the native image, which I was just scratching my head at. And here's Control 1440p maxed out. Control has some awesome looking ray tracing effects, averaging around 60 to 70 FPS native. and then you turn DLSS on and that frame rate starts to creep up again with no loss to image quality as far as I'm concerned. So it's a really cool tech that I think most developers will probably want in their PC games going forward. Yeah, so the performance is pretty nuts compared to a 2080 Ti. I think if you've got a 2080, this will be a significant leap in performance, especially if you're playing it at 1440p or 4K. I would say if you only game at 1080p and you've already got a 2080 Ti, maybe it's not worth the upgrade. I suppose that depends on how much you could sell it for. But if you're playing at 1440p, this card just kills it, man. And as I said, it's so nice to play 240 hertz, 1440p, minimal input lag. If I wanted to, I could just max everything out and have a great time. Now, in terms of the content creation stuff, the NVIDIA cards are incredibly useful to me because you can use the NVENC codec, which is a hardware chip on the cards themselves, which does video encoding. And I use that to record all of my videos, to do my live streams. I use a free program called OBS, and that supports the NVENC codec. And when you watch some of my videos, like the recent Warzone videos where I've had the frame rate in the top left-hand corner, I'm doing that all off one PC. So I'm playing the game at 1440p whilst recording with OBS at 1440p and using a 75,000 bit rate. The quality is brilliant. I lose about 10 frames per second on average, but when you're hitting such a high frame rate anyway, that doesn't really matter. So in terms of my workflow for recording and streaming, it's a godsend for me because it means I can just hit record. I don't notice that I'm recording and I end up with a video file that looks really good. Also, I use NVENC to render my videos too. I use a program called Vegas. Other people use Premiere. You can use the NVENC codec there too. And I'm rendering my 1440p videos at 40,000 bit rate, and they render quicker than real time, than the length of the video. Unfortunately, I didn't have access to overclocking tools before today, so I didn't really want to include any of that in this video. Obviously, if you're overclocking, you'll be able to squeeze even more performance out of these. And the custom partner boards that they've revealed, I think Asus, MSI, EVGA, they've already shown off their custom versions of the 3080 and even the 3090, which is coming out soon. I don't have a 3090. I can't wait to see the kind of performance that will get though, but you'll definitely be able to squeeze more out of these cards if you overclock them. As I said, this is all just standard clock speed, standard boost core, voltage, all that stuff. So when you get one of these, when they're out, when they have overclocking tools, expect more performance than this. It's nuts. In conclusion, from my experience, it's a very impressive piece of hardware at that price as well, which, let's be honest, no one expected. I think it's an attractive prospect, especially if you're upgrading from a card that's maybe 2 to 3 years old now. So there it is. Like I said, I'm sorry I couldn't offer you an incredibly detailed techie look at this. Go check out those other channels if you want that. Do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.